ever considered getting into investing? Let's talk about what that looks like. And for people like us, we're known as retail investors. So how can you do it? There are many, many options out there to you. No doubt if you bank with one of the high street banks, they've contacted you since you've been there to say, would you like to try invest with us? I know Monzo have recently released it. Lots of the high street banks do it, but they're actually not one of the best methods to do it. The reason being, they actually charge you like a small percentage of the amount you've got invested, which when you don't have a lot, won't seem like much, but over a long period of time, which is how investing should be done, it could actually cost you tens of thousands of pounds. So I use a platform called Trading 212 because the transaction fees are zero and they have a very good range of stocks and shares and funds to invest in. So how do you do it? You create an account with any of these platforms. There are many others. You've got Trading 212, you've got eToro, you've got Vanguard, have their own, AJ Bell. There are lots and lots and lots. Do your research first. But I like Trading 212 because the app is brilliant and their web interface is also pretty good. And if you use a promo code, you can get a free share as well, between £10 and £100. Now, my promo code is linked in my bio, so if you want to do that, you can, and you can use that for up to 10 days. Once you've got that account, you need to do some verification, ID, etc. They need to check who you are, you're not money laundering, all of that good stuff. And then it's time to search for a fund or a stock that you want. Now, you'll have heard of all the big companies, your Microsofts, your Googles, your Apples, Facebook, all of that stuff. You could invest in those individually, or you could buy an ETF, an exchange traded fund. And they are basically collections of those companies chosen by people far brighter than me to be part of a fund that they think will grow over time. So a very popular one is actually the S&P 500, and S&P stands for Standard & Poor. And they are the top 500 companies in the US and contain mostly tech stocks. So all of those companies I just mentioned, plus your Netflix, your Amazons, all of those huge companies, and then a bunch of others as well. So it basically tracks the price of those. And so by investing in the S&P 500, you essentially buy a small portion of every single company in there. And so if one company does well, you get the benefits. But more importantly, if one company does really badly, you won't get a huge hit as if you just bought them individually. Now, another option is an all-world fund. And this is what I do. So I use Vanguard's all-world index fund, the FTSE, and not to be confused with the FTSE 100, which is a UK-based thing. This is an all-world fund, which actually contains or is made up about 60% of the S&P 500. Plus it's got some emerging market stuff, some Euro stuff, rest of world type things. And the reason I choose that is because if anything were to happen in the States, the impact to my portfolio would be considerably less than if I was all invested in the States or the S&P 500. Now, that's to say, if something goes bad, but if something goes well, the impact to my portfolio from a positive perspective is also going to be slightly less. Okay, so the S&P 500, if the US are doing well, will probably outperform my FTSE or world index. However, I'm more comfortable with that because of the balance it gives me, in basically if things are going wrong. That's just a couple of options, right? So that's what I do, and I do that, and I just put in a small amount each month. And I'll do another video following up on what compound interest or compound growth looks like, because the value of investing is doing little and often over a very, very long period of time. So think 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I've done some numbers before, but if you do something like £50 or £100 a month for 30 years and you return somewhere between 8 and 10%, you could end up with close to £1 million, if not a million. So if you've got any questions on investing, or you would like to get started and you want a more in-depth tutorial and I can actually show you screen share, then let me know in the comments below. And if you're not already following, please hit that follow button. Good luck with your investing journey.